Good morning, everybody. It's Claire Jones here from Your One Life Healthy Weight Solutions, and I'm live here with you on Monday, the 25th of September 2023, for episode 51 of Monday Morning Matters. And today I'm going to be talking with you about how to keep going when you just want to give up on your weight loss efforts. Okay, so before I get started, just to say, for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Claire Jones, and I used to be for about 25 years a serial yo-yo dieter, always losing and putting on the same amount of weight, sometimes a bit more, and just stuck in this endless cycle of not knowing how to manage my weight. I was either putting it on or losing it, and I just couldn't find a way out. I was very unhappy, and food ruled my life. I would go through cycles of overeating and undereating, and my efforts to lose weight were not always the healthiest. But eventually I broke out of that pattern, and for the last 12 years or so now, I've been a healthy weight, completely different lifestyle. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I realised that I had actually truly cracked the problem, and therefore I decided that I wanted to help others to do the same. So that's me, and you can watch my previous videos on my YouTube channel or in my free Facebook group, and where you can see all of the previous episodes. And what the Monday Morning Matters series is all about is really short videos to just help you to sort of, get your head around the problem, which obviously, if you're here in my free group, then it will be because you're interested in trying to manage your weight in perhaps a better way than you might have done previously. And so it's all about healthy weight solutions after all. We want you to be healthy. We want you to obviously be able to lose weight in a healthy way and be able to lead a healthy life, be healthier than perhaps you might be at the moment if you're obviously trying to make some changes to your lifestyle. And it's all about, really being kind and compassionate to ourselves in the process. And that's really what I'm all about. So I'm going to dive straight in now because I've only got sort of 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm basically just going to run through with you we're going to be talking about, as I say, the how to keep going when you really just want to give up on your weight loss efforts. Maybe it's getting too hard and you're just thinking, what's the point in all of this? So I'm just going to talk you through a few little things that you can do to kind of get your mojo back. And this is a really good time of year to be thinking about this, because we're just coming into autumn, and we've just had the summer holidays, and it's kind of that kind of period of the year where we just kind of think, well, what do I want to achieve by Christmas? So hopefully this little chat will help you to just get your head around that a little bit more. So firstly, the thing that I would say when it comes to giving up on weight loss efforts is that it's completely normal to feel that way, okay? Because what you have to remember, and this is so important, I think the first step is to really understand what it is that you're trying to do. Because if you just think, I want to lose weight, I'll just eat less, without really understanding how that's going to help, or why that's going to help, or even why it's hard to do that, then you're going to be selling yourself short. So it's really, I think, taking stock of the fact that actually when we decide we want to lose weight, we immediately put ourselves into conflict, and that is never going to be easy. Yes, we might find that, for the first few weeks we're kind of swimming along nicely and we're sticking to a program and everything's kind of falling together nicely, and you can't imagine that it would ever be any different. And then something happens, something unexpected happens, or you get an invitation to go somewhere, or you go on a holiday, or something about your routine changes, and all of this carefully constructed regime is like a house of cards, and it just starts tumbling down. And then before you know it, you just can't get going again, and you go back to what you did before. And of course, going back to what we did before is just going to return us to where we were before, because if we don't fundamentally change how we want to do stuff, nothing really changes. So if you are going into losing weight with the mindset of, I'm just going to do this temporarily and then everything will be okay, it won't be. Okay, trust me, been there, done that, got the t-shirts. What we really need to be doing is fundamentally changing our attitude towards food. So understanding the problem is understanding that when we try to lose weight, we are going against our biology. Our bodies don't want us to lose weight. Our bodies want us to conserve energy. So to begin with, they'll let it go. They'll just let us get on with it. But eventually, it catches up with us, and it becomes really hard to keep going because we're in this conflict. So we need to firstly understand that we're in this conflict, okay? It is normal to be in this conflict because we are going against our survival instincts. Hunger is a survival instinct. So we need to make sure that we know how to manage it. Otherwise, we're going to be really, struggling to keep going. So we need to understand the problem, okay? Understand that it's going to be difficult. Accept that it's normal to be difficult, okay? Losing weight is one of the hardest things to do long term. Yes, it can be quite easy in the short term, but long term it's one of the hardest things to do because our bodies and our brains fight back big time, and we have to learn how to manage that. But even better, if we can learn how to not put ourselves into this huge conflict in the first place, and that starts with actually changing our attitude to the whole process and not thinking of it as I'm just going to do this temporarily. We have to think about changing our whole lifestyle permanently, because if we don't, nothing will really change. But we've also got to want to change it permanently, because if we don't really want to change it permanently, guess what? We won't. So it's understanding that problem and really getting into why is this important to you. So that's the first thing, is really understanding the problem, and then accepting that it's going to be hard, okay? Because if you expect it's going to be easy, then you're going to be in for a big shock at some point. Even if it's easy at the beginning, it will not necessarily continue to be. And if you look at the statistics of people who lose weight and what happens, where are they in 5 years' time, the vast majority have returned back to where they were, unfortunately. Unless we do something different, that is always going to be the case. So the next thing I think is really important to recognise is that we cannot lose weight in a vacuum. Yeah, the world does not stop because we've decided to lose weight. We've got to learn how to do it in the context of real life. So we've got to be flexible. There will be some days where it will be easy to follow whatever chosen plan you have decided, whether that's sort of like doing it yourself, calorie counting and just being healthy eating, or whether you're following a specific program. There will be some days where it's easy to do that because you haven't got lots of stress going on, you haven't got lots of events to accommodate, you haven't got lots of stress to deal with. But there will be other days where you do, where it becomes really, really difficult. So it's about looking at, do you have to always, every single day, be in a calorie deficit? Yeah. And if you are in a calorie deficit continuously, yes, it might mean that you'll get to your goal more quickly, but it will mean you're more likely to return to where you were before because you haven't allowed your body the chance to adjust to what you're doing. And the problem with staying in a calorie deficit for too long, as I said, is our bodies and brains fight back. And so if we are not in a continuous calorie deficit, our bodies don't get too worried. So having what I call strategic maintenance breaks can be really, really helpful, because when you think about it, we want to spend the majority of our lives in a maintenance state, don't we? Not in a losing weight state. So treating these strategic maintenance breaks on the days when you can't do as much as you need to do to lose it, at the very least, if you can focus on maintaining what you've lost, whether that be for a day or a week or a month, it doesn't matter. But it's focusing on the maintenance aspects of it that will allow you the break from the mental and physical stress of being on a diet, and it will teach you how to maintain your weight, which actually is easier than losing weight, because what we don't want to do is be in this one extreme to the other. So either they're piling weight on or we're losing it and there's no space in between. We need to learn how to live in that space in between. And when we can do that, that's when we really, really crack it. Okay. So be flexible. Know that some days it's going to be okay to not be in a calorie deficit. As long as you're not in a surplus, it's okay. Yeah. And that's where we need to be spending the majority of our time when we're not trying to lose weight anyway. So learning how to do that is a really good thing to do. So you're feeling really fed up. Let's say you're really feeling fed up and you think, oh, God, I've been doing this for weeks and, it's not coming off as fast as I'd like. Forget about the timescale, because the timescale is the least important part of the process. If you imagine, you're trying to climb a mountain and you look up at the mountain and you look, oh, crikey, that's a long way. I can't do it. Yeah. So, and it's going to take me ages. If you think of it in that way, you're already putting yourself into a very negative mindset, and that is going to hold you back. Whereas if you think, actually, I trust that if I just keep putting one foot in front of the other in the same direction, I'm going to get there. It doesn't really matter how long it takes. As long as I keep going, then you will get there. You have to trust that you will get there. And it doesn't matter how long. When we put the pressure of the time scale on ourselves, all it does is create further problems for most of us most of the time. It's just not realistic to think that we can continually lose weight all the time in the context of real life and in the context of the world that we find ourselves in, where we are being bombarded with food all of the time. It's really, really hard to fight that. So don't fight it. Look at how you can accommodate things so that you can be flexible and have realistic timescales. So another thing I think is really important is to just remind yourself or check back in with your goal. So, you know, you're thinking you're feeling really fed up and you think, well, you know, why did you decide to do this in the first place? Yeah. Go back to that and think, what is it? Why is it that I want to do this? What difference is it going to make to my life to keep focusing on this? I know that it's hard, but actually it's worth it. Yeah. Remind yourself just how much this is worth to you, because if it's really worth it, you'll find a way. You know that old saying, if you want something enough, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. And that is basically what it comes down to. Because our primitive brains want to keep us safe. They don't want us to be doing things that feel hard and feel uncomfortable. But we have to push through that if we want to get the results that we want. So the final thing that I would say is that, you know, if you think, actually there's two more things I would say. So if you think, okay, what are your choices here? Do you carry on or do you give up? Yeah. What's the alternative? If you give up, where is that going to take you? So one of the things that I share with my clients on my program is I have these two pictures of storm clouds and sunshine and thinking about which path are you going to choose? Yeah. And if you can think of that every time you go to eat something, every time you go to make a decision about your you know, what you're going to eat in terms of your desire to either lose weight or not, you know, just remembering actually which future are you choosing for yourself. So what is the alternative? If you decide that this isn't working and you don't want to do it anymore, what are your alternatives? And if the alternative is to stay the same and not make any changes, how's that going to make you feel? Yeah, is that really what you want? Do you want to settle for that because you found it hard to change? Change is hard because we're having to go against all of our natural instincts. Of course it's going to be hard. Nothing like that is ever going to be easy. Yeah, so accept that it's going to be hard and be ready for it and do all the preparation that you need to do in order to be fully equipped for the journey ahead. Yeah, that's the nuts and bolts of the work that I do with people. So you know where I am if you want to explore that further. But that is the bottom line. Yeah, we have to be able to prepare properly and be ready for the journey ahead and be able to be flexible and not trying to continually be perfect or, you know, either on it or off it. There's lots of space in between that we can flex, and that's okay. And just take it one day at a time. So going back to that analogy about the mountain, your next step is simply just what do you need to do today? What do you need to do today that's going to take you in the direction of your goal? And if you look down and you think, hang on a minute, I'm actually not going in the right direction, just take stock. Look at where is your goal and what do you need to do to get yourself back on track? You're only ever one decision away from getting back on track. I'm sure you've probably heard that before. It's a bit cliche, but it's so true. You know, that is really right now. You can make the decision right now to make a change today. You know, what are you going to do in the next 5 minutes, in the next hour, in the next 6 hours, and the rest of today? What are you going to do that is going to take you towards your goal as opposed to away from it? So always thinking, am I working towards my goal? You know, just ask that question of yourself every time you go and eat and drink something. Is this in support of my goals? Yes or no? If it is, great. If it's not, it begs some more questions, doesn't it? Why are you doing it? And if you can really start to understand your behaviour, then you can actually start to change it and help yourself to get to where you want to be. So I hope that was helpful. So if you are struggling to be on track, that is hopefully going to help you to just think a little bit more for yourself about what you need to change, what you need to do to get back on track. Obviously, we have this lovely supportive Facebook group here, which is where, you know, we have obviously the monthly challenges, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. We obviously have these the videos that I do, the Monday Morning Matters videos that I do. I don't do them every week anymore. I just simply don't have the capacity because obviously I have to focus on my paying clients. But I do them as often as I can. And this whole, let's say, back catalogue of over 50 videos now that you can watch that are obviously, you know, all about things that are going to help you with managing your weight, hopefully in a way that is compassionate to yourself. And then obviously we have, you know, just general chat, you know. So if you want to post something, if you want to share your journey, if you want to ask a question, if you want to, you know, if you're struggling, you need some support, you know, post. It's a lovely space here, very, very supportive, non-judgmental, so please use it. Now, just before I go, I just want to tell you about the October challenge that is going to be starting. Again, these are monthly challenges I used to do every month. I just don't have the capacity to do them every month now. So I'm going to do them every 2 to 3 months. The last one we did was in July. So the next one is going to be starting on the 1st of October. It's going to run for the whole of the month, as they always do. And it's going to be all about, as it always is, picking a healthy habit that you know you need to be more consistent with. We don't want to pick loads, because when we try and spread ourselves too thinly, we tend not to do anything really well. But if you know that there is a thing that is getting in the way of you getting your results, whether that be, you know, you just maybe haven't really got an idea of how much you're eating at the moment, and you want to maybe start tracking it, and you know that you're not very consistent with tracking your food, you could choose tracking as your your commitment for the monthly challenge. Maybe you know that you don't drink enough water, and you know that that really impacts on your ability to lose weight. So maybe your challenge is going to be about water. Maybe you know that when you have a really rubbish night's sleep, you tend to snack on all of the things that we know are not good for us. So maybe getting into a good sleep routine is going to be your challenge. You can do whatever you want. The thing is, it's got to be, you know, supporting your health and well-being, and it's got to be something that you know that you need to work on, that is going to really make a difference to you. And the idea when we do these challenges is that once you've been doing it for a month, if you keep going, then the next time we do a monthly challenge, you can pick something else, and that can stack on top of the one that you've already done. So gradually over time, you can develop, you know, more healthier habits that will eventually mean that, you know, you're feeling so much better about yourself, and feeling healthier and happier and more in control of what you're doing. That's the whole point of these. And obviously, you know, it's a lovely little community. When we get going and everybody joins in and everybody starts to report how they're getting on, you know, it's really lovely to see how everyone supports each other. So do join in if you are wanting to work on your consistency with something, a healthy habit that you know you need to work on, that's going to really make a difference to you and how you manage your weight. So watch this space. It will start on the 1st of October. So this week I'm going to be sharing a few posts just to get you up to speed with how it works. Obviously, those of you who've done it before, obviously more than welcome to join back in, and I would love to see you. Those of you who are new to the group or have never joined in the challenge before, now is a great time. And the way that it works is that you don't have to be perfect, okay? What you do simply need to do is just report in every day. Okay, and if you can do that, even if it was, oh, I didn't have such a good day today, I didn't get it done, but it's an opportunity for you to reflect and get support, yeah? Or likewise, you might find, you know, you want to report in, you find that having this external accountability is really helpful, and you want to keep reporting in, and that's going to help you stay consistent, and you want to keep reporting in that, yes, you've done the thing, then even better. So there's no judgments here. This is about you getting into some really good routines and getting some support and sharing the journey, yeah? So I'm going to leave it there because I've waffled on to 20 minutes. But I look forward to seeing you in the October challenge. And obviously, if you have been watching live or on catch up, love to see comments just to say hello and let me know if this was useful. Let me know what you're going to do. I'd really love to know what you're going to do after having watched this video to help get yourself back on track, or to stay on track if you're already on track. How are you going to make sure you stay there? So I will see you, probably not next week because I'm away next week, but I'll probably be doing the next Monday Morning Matters probably on the 9th of October. And I've got a couple of suggestions as to what to cover, so watch this space on that, and I will see you in 2 weeks. But I will also see you in the October challenge and see you in the group. Take care. Bye-bye.